Good morning, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 7:21. I'm in Killarney in a B&B. It seems like an age since I chatted with you last, but due to, as they say, circumstances beyond my control, it stopped me a couple of nights from getting a video done. I meant to do it last night, but I fell asleep. Long day yesterday. Well, let's see. We went back. We were in Derry when I chatted you. No, Belfast Monday night. We done Game of Thrones and Dark Hedges, and we were only there for a few minutes just to stand under a bush to get a photograph taken. Roadworks all over the place. Roads blocked. Bad signage, not like here, and the Google Maps girl Mary not picking up what roads were closed or not was a disaster. Got back to Derry on about 6:30 on Tuesday evening, and then that was the evening I was heading home. So I was swapping vehicles with a woman, and she had left the Midlands early enough, 5 o'clock or that. But I was sent side roads, she was sent side roads, but eventually we met. I had a third of the journey done, she had 2/3. But then when I continued on, the rain was outrageous, heading into Enniskillen and onto Swan and Bear, onto Ballinamore, onto Carrick-on-Shannon. I didn't get home until 10 to 11. So I had nothing done, nothing picked out, so I didn't bother. Well, it's not that I didn't bother, but I went to bed because I was up here the next morning. Went to Sligo to have the MRI done. Doesn't get any easier going into that tunnel. I balked on the first attempt. She says, "Are you okay?" She crashed down that helmet on top of me. And if she didn't say anything, I was fine. I was had my eyes closed going back into the tunnel. But then when she spoke, she says, "I just put that down in your head." And I opened my eyes, and the tunnel is only 3 inches away from your face. So she said, "All right," and I said, "No, let me out." So there was heavy breathing for a couple of minutes, and then regrouped, and in I went, and in it for about 20 minutes. I actually fell asleep for the last 2 or 3 minutes, I think. Or maybe it could have been only 30 seconds, but which was pulling me out and I was asleep. Doesn't get any easier. Results will be sent on to the consultant, but it's only a monitoring thing with MS patients. They do it on a yearly basis just to see how much the change is in your spine and in your brain. The brain is slipping a bit all right lately, I noticed, with forgetting things and can't remember. It's crazy, like. But anyway, some people are saying that it happens to them as well, that it's old age. I just say I'm not getting old yet. I went back up then to pick up the car, or the Mercedes, in Athlone on Wednesday evening, and with a view to heading for Galway. Headed for Galway, landed in Galway, no laptop, forgot in the car, had to go back again and pick it up, and there was a wheel showing going flat or going down, showing 270 pounds as opposed to 425 pounds in the other wheel on the front, and pumped it up. And when I went to Galway and back again to Athlone, it was showing again 260, and I pumped it and I went down to 180. So I pumped it up again in another station near Ballinasloe, and it has remained sound since. So I don't know why it was air escaping at one point and it's not escaping anymore. So touch wood, it'll stay like that. So there was no internet in Galway, couldn't get it at all. And that's the second time that has happened in the Harbour Hotel. And when I inquired even the last time, they say it's why I couldn't get internet. It says change your settings. So I don't know, I couldn't change anything. So yesterday we were left Galway, the Cliffs of Moher was done, and then they wanted to go to Dingle. So got the 2 o'clock ferry, arrived in Dingle at 4 o'clock, and they had a list of stuff to do, and I had to explain to them all that stuff would take a full day in Dingle. They'd spoken with somebody the day before, and they'd got this itinerary that they could do in Dingle. Yes, they could, if they had 5 hours or 6 hours to do it. So we got a lot of it done, but we didn't get to wherever they wanted to go to eat. I says, if you go to eat, you'll miss doing the rest of the things. So I suggested to eat in Killarney yesterday evening, which they did, I think, but it was 7:30 when we got back to Killarney. So, and I'd no lunch either, but there'll be a lunch today, because there's one thing I said that this trip, it tell me was something. I know what it is. The word no will come in very quickly anymore. I'm too soft. I'm saying yes too often to everybody, and I'm suiting myself. So definitely from now on, I've learned the word no goes into my vocabulary, and I'm going to have lunch today, and I don't care. I'm going to pull it. I don't care what they have on their itinerary. Whether they want to do half the Ring of Kerry then, and I said, how can you do half the Ring of Kerry? I said, it's like, if you do half, do you go back then, or do you go forward? I said, you do it all, or you don't do anything, like, but I don't know. They were getting bad information from people, I think. So we'll do the whole lot of it today. That's what we'll do. And then we'll head to Blarney this evening. So anyway, I didn't see much racing the last couple of days because I didn't put on the phone for any racing at all. With some crowds you can, but this crowd, I'm not enjoying this trip, to be honest. Anyway, if they were all like this, I'd be at home for the next one. But anyway, I've 3 picked out for today. One there in the 205 in Listowl. It's a big race at the 100,000, 60,000 to the winner. It seems to be between JPs too, but I'm going on for them. But they might have different information or different reading on it. But Icare Allen, I think it's a horse I tipped up before, way back. Yeah, it was in Newbury on the 11th of February. I tipped up this one, but it was 4th in the Galway Hurl to Zarak the Brave. Seems to be better over 2 miles than the 2 miles 6 the last day. So it beat Filey Bay by 3 lengths in that. But will it beat it today is another thing, because you don't know. But I'm hoping it's an each way bet anyway. It's 11 to 2, 6 to 1 there. They're paying 6 places. I think it's a sort of a solid selection. Our good friend there, She Could Be Anything, has won a few races for us, but it went up £10 for its last run, so it'd have to improve big time again, which it can. But I think that the safest playing is Icare Allen. In Ayr, there's a sprint there over 5.5 furlongs, which may suit a horse that done a good turn and was unlucky in another one then called Aussie Girl. A front runner, if it was caught on the wrong side the last year, which was up against a better horse in Ocean Quest. That's a Group 1 horse. But the day that it ran in the 6 furlongs in Naas, the uphill finish and the extra half a furlong done it no favours, and Clonmachan collared it close to the line. The 5.5 furlong might be ideal for this, but there is a danger. There's always danger, of course, but you don't know what a horse travelling over. But Fozzie Stack does well with his Raiders over there, and Joey Sheridan is travelling over. Queen Me is rated 105, so on the ratings, that's £7 well in with Aussie Girl, and it ran in the Nunthorpe last time, but that was over 5. So the triple suit this one is sort of better as well, 6 to Shaquille, but we'll be pinging along in front, and it was 6 to 1. I had it picked out as an each way bet yesterday evening. So there's money for it overnight. It's into 4s now. 130, but I think they chalked it up early, that price early anyway. It opened with 365 and William Hill 6s. It's a win bet now, unless it goes out to 9 to 2 or 5 to 1. You could put on the safety net. And then these old big handicap, I love tackling them. At the head of affairs there, 8-1 last night was Rock Melody. Tipped it a couple of times. Needs 6. This is 6, but is it good enough to win over top weight? It ran the other day and it seemed a bit sort of rusty, I thought. It was over 5 in Musselborough, where it had won a couple of races before. And I was saying it needed 6. 6 now, and I'm going against it. There's an outsider, I'd suggest a small few quid each way, is Novak. It's 18s or 20s. The reason being, trained by Ian Jardine, who's going all right, but it has run a few times at Ayr. Now, some of them are over 7, but there was one over 6. But it has ran 3 times over in Ayr, and it won twice, over 7 and over 6, 67 and 74. The last time, I thought it was a good run behind Strong Johnson there in Redcar, but back to a track that it runs well at. I think it could go all right with William Pyle taking off 5. So that's bringing it back to 72. So hopefully it might be competitive. It's a risky, yourself with 25 runners in 18-1. It's a race that could actually suit Ascot Adventure, but I've tipped him up a couple of times and backed him, but he's back to 6 furlongs today, and a fast run 6 might actually suit him, but it's hard to know what to do with him because he was wide the last time. I didn't see that race, I looked at it last night, but it's the last time he ran at 6 in York. It was a good race there to Roundhay Park. So anyone that has lost a few pounds on him, I think he was placed, wasn't he, a couple of times for us. He didn't lose any money, bar the last day, I think. Anyway, I'm rattling on. It's time to get the breakfast. I told him to be down at 7:15. It's gone 7:30 now. I want to get this into the oven. So, phone on the road again today. So bash the bookies, over and out.